Howdy doody out there in YouTube land. Y'all should just park your pickup trucks and get them kids off the four-wheelers. Tell them to bring you an ice cold one and join us right now for a little Ready, Set, Drone fun, cause it's First Friday and everybody's here to have a good time. I see we got a great group of good old boys in the chat tonight. I see Skeeter, Tater, Possum, Billy, Bobby, Ken, and my brother Brad from Virginia. All in the chat and ready to help us get this party started. Welcome all y'all. Hey, and welcome to our lady friend too. I know there's probably only one, but thanks for being here. It is First Friday and it's time to get started, so let me introduce your host, the man with the plan, the guy who can fly, the dude who's rarely rude, Kelly Shores. Yeah!
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to First Friday. I literally just ran out the door because I forgot to grab my Dr. Pepper, and I ended up with one of these little mini Dr. Peppers. But that's okay, because I had a lot of soup before this, and, you know, don't want to have to get up and visit the bathroom during the middle of the show. That's so pedestrian. Thank you guys for hopping in. I'm really excited tonight. We have a fantastic guest. We have a brand new episode unseen by human eyes, except for mine and maybe Chris Hope of 2 Minutes of Hope. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff coming in for, future drone stuff. And we have a lot of conversations about drones in a box, as well as subscriber of the month. So a lot to get through. Before we do though, I do want to say, welcome. We have a new flight crew member, 107 Drones, just joined, and it looks like somebody else might have just joined. Oh no, it's Fly Zone. Yeah, Fly Zone Drones. Thank you. And actually I want to give a big shout out and a fist bump. The Ready Set Drone bump, I don't know what you want to call it, but the bump that everybody's talking about to Fly Zone Drones. Those guys are awesome. You should go check them out. I know they do a show on Fridays as well. And then also we have One Vision Ariel asked for a bump, and so I thought I'd give him a bump as well. And then again, 107 Drones, thanks for joining the flight crew. I will say generally on the flight crew stuff, there are discounts for spin up. We're not doing spin up in 2022, but we are going to do spin up in 2023. I'm going to start looking for venues over the summer so that I can give you guys plenty of notice. It'll probably be in the fall, but you'll have lots of time to buy your tickets. But if you are a flight crew member, the tickets are cheaper. We're going to kind of figure out how to keep those costs under control, because renting venues and food and insurance and all that stuff can add up. But I'm going to really try to keep the cost down this year. But again, thank you to the flight crew. Just want to give a shout out to you guys and really say thank you for being here. And finally, before we bring our guest on, which by the way, the guest is amazing. This company, I've started looking into the stuff they're doing, looking at their website. They are doing some pretty cool stuff. So you're going to want to learn about this. But I was I was the co-host on Thursday Night Live a couple of weeks ago. And I had written a joke just for that show. And I want to make sure if you didn't get to hear it, I can tell it to you. I was actually going to write a whole bunch of drone jokes, ran out of time, but I did write one really good one. So I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, if anybody can tell me, why is it illegal to fly a drone that's powered by sodium chloride? Why is it illegal to fly a drone powered by sodium chloride? Because it would be considered assault and battery. Thank you for that. All right. With that awesome drone joke, I want to bring in our guest, Curt. I don't know if it's Lary or Larry. I'm going to find out here in a second. But Curt is the founder, CEO, technician, and does a whole bunch of things for a company called Hextronics. And these guys are doing amazing stuff with autonomous drone flight as well as remote drone flight, and kind of making it possible for a lot of different organizations, whether it's construction, security, government, new home communities. I mean, all kinds of stuff. They're making it able to monitor these areas using these remote drone boxes. So let's bring Curt in. Curt, I think I see him out in the wings. There he is. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Kelly? Thank you. It's Curt Lary, by the way. And
Lary.
It's Hextronics.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, yeah. So you, are you the founder of the company? Did you actually start it, or are you the acting CEO? What's your position there?
Yeah, we found it. I founded Hextronics basically out of my apartment when I was just studying, and then kind of transitioned from a lab space to a garage, and now we've got a whole production facility where we're just going off the walls because we're kind of in a new industry and we're ready to go, and the world's ready.
And in one sentence or two sentences, but not too long, what do you guys do? What's the essence of what your company does?
Okay, so our purpose as a company is to enable aerial autonomy. And so we do this by creating cost-effective, compact drone stations that can be scaled in high volumes.
Okay, that was very concise. And by drone stations, can we take a look at that, Mark? See the first picture. You're talking about things like this, and this is one of your Hextronics drone stations. Can we see the other side of it, just for a little perspective? What's going on with this box?
Yeah, so the drone station, or some people like to call it the pizza oven. Basically, it should make a ding sound when the drone comes out.
Nice.
Essentially, the front of it is a drawer, and the drone lands in the drawer, goes back into the station, and we have a little robotic gantry in there, kind of like a 3D printer, that swaps the battery autonomously and gets it ready to go for another mission. So all while charging that battery and essentially enabling continuous, autonomous, and remote flight. And so that station itself, also inside, is like an Ethernet cable plug and or a 4G router that enables for complete remote control. And then on the back and on the inside of some of these units is climate control systems that enable it to operate in outdoor environments. And we have a whole host of different features that go along with the system to help enable autonomy.
Now you're based in Florida, right?
Yeah, right in South Florida, right in Miami.
And so you know all about tough weather, right? You know about humidity. You know about probably alligators, right? Coming up to those things. You know about wind. I mean, is this thing designed to protect? If you leave it out in a storm, is the drone gonna be okay?
Yeah, no, we've had our box operational for over 6 months, plugged into the wall, roof closed. It's pretty much dust-proof, weatherproof, environment-proof. It's not hurricane tested yet, but we've got a tropical storm rolling in right now, and we expect to be able to fly it tomorrow.
Nice. So, wow. So yeah, because it's the one that went across Mexico, right? It's like Hurricane Alex or Tropical Storm Alex. Is that right?
Yeah, the tropical storm.
Wow. So Curt, how did you get into drones? What was your first, everybody has that moment, especially everybody here in the chat. They have that moment when they first saw a drone being flown by a friend, or maybe they saw it on YouTube or whatever. What was your starting moment, and what got you hooked on flying drones?
Yeah, so it's been since kind of before drones a little bit, when you would get those small little helicopters for Christmas or for your birthday or something, and you would start flying it, and then immediately it would crash into a tree or run away from you or something. And then I finally got, I think a couple of years back, we got the first Phantom 1 for my birthday or holiday or something. And I absolutely went crazy over it and just flew it everywhere I could until the battery was no longer good. And then after that, I went to school for engineering, and I started really getting into electronics and electromechanical systems and motors, and actually designed autonomous robot systems even while I was just in school. I made an autonomous robot delivery service inside of a restaurant that actually had robots driving on the ceiling, delivering food automatically to the users.
So what I mean, it couldn't be soup, right? Because they're driving on the ceiling. What kind of?
We did deliver soup. We delivered soup.
Wow.
Yep, the bottom of the tray that was dangling, or not dangling, but kind of being transported, was somewhat gimbaled, or it was balanced in its own way, and we were able to deliver soups, burgers, cups of coffee, plates of eggs, and Yeah, and
How
it
often
worked.
did
We did over 70 autonomous deliveries, and then we shut it down because of COVID, actually.
so actually, funny story. My daughter went to school last year for her freshman year of college at Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, and they have little robots that run around and deliver food all over campus. So she would order food from the robots, and she told me sometimes the robots would even get stuck. You know, they'd like kind of get and if you or they tip over, and if you help them, they would say thank you and then go on their way. It was weird though when I would go there. I mean, have you seen this? They look like little tanks. They have little treads on them, or actually 6 little wheels, 3 on either side, and they go up over curbs and stuff like that. Pretty amazing. And so you got into flying with a Phantom 1, and then kind of when did you decide to make it a business?
Yeah, okay. So after the restaurant delivery system, and yeah, those little robots are pretty cute. I see them all around here. There's some even running around the streets of Brickell in Miami.
Nice.
But so after the delivery system, I was kind of annoyed that every time I would deliver in a restaurant, I would have to lay down the tracks on the ceiling, which got kind of frustrating. And so I thought about doing somewhat of a design project that was more centered towards drones that could do delivery just somewhat autonomously. And so I kind of went down to the fundamentals of, okay, how could a drone system like this actually operate autonomously? And so we thought about the whole concept of a drone station that would swap out the package and the battery, store the package in some compartment somewhere, and basically swap it around so that the turnaround time for an autonomous delivery drone was no time. And we got to that point. We did a lot of work and designed the mechanical systems to make it actually function, but it wasn't at a point of scalability or high level reliability that we were looking for. So I kind of turned and pivoted a bit and thinking, okay, if Hextronics is ever going to exist in a real company, it's got to have some product that the world can start using almost immediately. And so we got into design. We chatted around with a couple groups that were utilizing drones for enterprise and for kind of actual like business use cases that was helping generate revenue. And a lot of them were using the DJI Mavic series. And we noticed that there was an open SDK that we could work to develop with some partners. And then we said, okay, we'll make a drone station for this commercial drone and see where it can go from there. And since then, we've deployed over 50 stations across the world. We're in 6 of the 7 continents, where we haven't cracked Antarctica yet.
Yeah, that would take a special kind of drone for sure.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I real quick, I just wanted to show, can you bring that back up real quick, Chris? Just how cute these food delivery drones can be, right? They have little eyes on them, and I think they do that on purpose to make them look a little bit less intimidating, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty cool, though, that you started with food and then went into drones, and then at what point, I mean, now you have trucks, now you have certainly deployed things. At what point did you make your first sale and realize you had a real business here?
Yeah, so kind of our first sale was just for an initial station. So we used to actually house the drone and swap the battery with like a 4 degree of freedom SCARA robot arm, where we had a camera on the end effector of the arm, and it would locate the drone based off of inverse kinematics and computer vision, and then pick it up and put it back into the box. And that definitely was not a scalable system, because everything, of course, is dependent on reliability. And so when we made our first sale or got kind of into this business, it was with one of our partners that does the software for it, Flightbase, and there's a couple out there that are really pushing the boundaries on systems like this. And after that, we kind of did a big launch event that pretty much persuaded some guys, hey, for not that much, you can get everything in a consolidated package that typically would cost you north of like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and basically put all of the burden of making the thing work on us. and we got it, and we pushed through it, and we do it every day across the planet.
So it's literally like an all-in-one package. Like if a customer buys your system, they're getting the drone, they're getting the box, they're getting the software. Is that right?
So yeah, box and the software. Most of the customers already have the drone just because of how widespread the Mavic 2 is. And so that's pretty much the people we work with or have the biggest need for our systems are people that already are using drones to actually provide a service to their customers, either do on-site mapping or kind of first response or construction view, or just continuous analysis of critical infrastructure. And in order to do this and cut some costs, they could just leave a station there and control it remotely or on a schedule. And from that's where our initial value was generated, and where people started seeing how this could be scaled across cities and really provide value.
So the pictures we saw a moment ago were of a big drone. That's the Atlas, right? Do you also support, I see, can we bring up that picture of the Parrot? I see you support the Parrot. You mentioned the Mavic 2, the Mavic 2 Zoom, I guess, is one of the drones you support. Is that right?
Yeah, so all of the Mavic 2 series, from the Zoom Pro, Enterprise, Dual Advanced, all of those guys. And then the Atlas is a system that we are really looking to release in the next couple of months. That's kind of from our initial flight testing, some of those shots.
And this is the Atlas here.
Yes, exactly.
And then can you go back to the Parrot for a second? The next one. Yeah. So why did you pick what made you pick the Parrot and the Mavic 2? What was the appeal there?
Yeah, so really Mavic 2 is just the most scalable drone that we saw. Very high quality, very high reliability, very high essentially scalability, so that we knew that there wasn't just going to run out of batteries anytime soon. And
yeah, good flight time and then pretty easy to get parts, right? Lots of them out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then tell us a little bit about the Parrot, like why you picked that one, because of its weight or size or what?
Yeah, so I mean the Parrot USA is quite a bit lighter. It's very compact. It has a very it's got an outstanding sensor payload and value, and we really see this system to be the most capable to be like compact. So this system's actually roughly 40% lighter than our existing system.
Oh, wow.
And it is also designed for more first responder applications as well, especially how kind of the blue UAS list is going, and on the front of providing a very compact system that mitigates the ground risk. And then also Parrot as a company and their kind of openness to development has been very helpful on our end, and so far we've had great relationships with them, and it really looks like we're putting together quite a strong team to do something quite impactful.
And you have that cool honeycomb sort of design on the box. It's a cool graphic. You know what would be really cool is if you could get the graphic on the box to be like camouflaged for wherever you are. So if you're like in the woods, it has kind of like green and stuff, so you can't really see it. Or if you're in the desert, it has. But that's probably just more window dressing than anything else. So you have the really giant boxes that, the one, the Atlas that we were looking at, and then you have these smaller solutions, and you can put these on the back of a truck, right? Can we take a look at that? I mean, these things fit actually on the back of a pickup truck, and tell us about this setup. Like, what would you use this for?
Yeah, so this setup that we have called for the Hex truck, it's a very great setup in order to essentially allow for instantaneous deployment of the drone. Say you're a construction manager or a contractor, and you've got to go survey 6 to 10 sites per day, and you need to basically make a map of all of these sites for thinking of large construction projects or housing developments. And you can simply bring this autonomous station to the site, launch the same autonomous mission, and continue going about your business throughout the day, and have all of that data stored securely. And then you really have complete control over it, all operating remotely or autonomously.
So this is a video of your truck, somebody actually getting ready to launch. So this literally is, I mean, you sped it up a little bit, it looks like, but what's the time frame between the time you arrive somewhere and getting in the air?
Yeah, no, just a couple of minutes. The system is connected to 4G when it's launched from the truck, and so it's basically always online, powered from the battery of the truck. And then you can just log in with your laptop. The system itself creates a Wi-Fi hotspot. And so from there, you control the drone. You can relay the visual stream across the planet, and you can operate everything according to standard waypoint missions that you set predetermined or beforehand.
And what's the advantage in this case to having the system in the back of the truck versus actually just bringing a drone out to a work site? I mean, is it because it's already charged up and ready to go? It's what's the advantage? The software? Why would somebody want to have this truck versus just having a drone in a bag?
Yeah, exactly. So the truck itself, I'll admit, it's not our best seller, but it shows the portability and the capability of the system to be moved around to different locations. And from this setup, it would more so be, hey, you've got a truck, park it on site, and overnight you'll have continuous flight or security of the system. It wouldn't be, in some senses, the more value you can attain from it is just setting the system up in the bed of the truck, and then letting it be for a couple of days or overnight to provide the services of scheduled and like tracked waypoint missions that are set prior. And so of course you can still manage everything yourself manually from just having a drone in a bag, as you say, but this enables for portable autonomy from just the drone station perspective. It's not the best seller, but it just shows another aspect of thinking about drone autonomy differently.
And so can we go to the night mission one, the drone at night in the truck? So you have this thing, this box. If you were to park your truck somewhere, let's say, and leave it for a couple of days, can you fly those missions remotely or autonomously? Can they just be programmed to just do it and then capture all the data that you need, and then you can go pick it up?
Yeah, precisely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
what you would do though is you'd most likely just transfer the power from the truck to a nearby power source.
Right, you'd have a plug. Basically, you just plug it in overnight. Yeah, and so I know that I mean, I could think of, again, construction projects. This would be great for maybe perimeter security around a secure location. What are some other use cases that people are using it for or could use it for?
Yeah, so another of the main thing would be for agriculture. So surveying a large field or multiple different fields at times, flying the same mission over crops, and then and analyzing that footage for crop growth over time. And then there's also systems like first response, or first response, disaster relief, or search and rescue, where the drone station is brought on site, and the visuals and control of the drone is kind of dispersed remotely. So of course the team on the ground who is looking for the person or responding to the emergency can deal with that, whereas the visuals of the drone itself and all of the command is relayed back to a ground station or a base control station, who is then divvying up and dispatching the necessary units to the event, or looking for the individual, or just having a third party perspective on everything going down.
So they don't have to wait. Basically what you're saying is in a first response situation, they're not waiting for someone to bring an SD card back or to upload something. They're literally getting the video feed in real time.
Precisely.
from their location. Yeah. Mark, can you scroll back to the what you were showing just a second ago? It was a camera shot of the battery being changed inside. Yeah, that right there. So is this an inside view of the box that we're seeing?
Yeah, precisely. This is inside the box. We've got, like I said, a 3D printer type system.
What did you call it? You had a name for it. You said a what is it called?
Like a gantry.
Gantry.
XY gantry.
That's called a, wow. I didn't know that. That's a very very cool name. So that's a thing that moves in an XY, and it's really moving in 3 axes, right? It's going up, down, left, and right.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow. And so it's changing the battery out. It has to do, and it put the other battery on a charger. I can see it charging there on, that is so cool. That is really, and so it put a new battery in, and then once it does that, the drawer can push the drone out ready to fly while the other battery's charging.
Exactly. And we've got 6 batteries on deck.
Wow. So you could fly, I mean, by the time you've flown 6 batteries, battery number 1 is probably charged up again, or pretty close, right?
Exactly.
Wow. Why the prop guards? Is that just an extra safety measure, or is it in case it doesn't land quite right? I mean, I saw some video. Actually, can we bring up the video of the Atlas landing? Is that easy to get to? How do these things, aside from the regular GPS, which I know can I've landed enough GPS drones to know that they don't always hit the mark quite as precisely as you might want. I mean, they're pretty darn good, right? But you've got to land within this drawer, because if you caught the edge of it, it could tip over. How do you enhance that? It looks like you have some sort of a QR code or something on top, or a marker.
Yeah. Yep. We use precision landing AR code or QR code tags that essentially utilize computer vision to align the drone properly. So that whole landing process is completely autonomous.
So nobody has to land it in the box. It's going to land in the box every time on its own.
Yep, exactly.
Do you have an error ratio to like, does it, out of every 100 times or 200 times, does it miss once or twice, or pretty much never?
We go for 100%, and there's always bounds that we operate in, and so some of the thresholds could be like relatively high wind, or other things like magnetic interference or things like this, but most of the time we go for visual feedback, and with that, we land on the mark. And
so it's using a combination of GPS and visual. The cameras are actually looking at that marker. Yep,
precisely. When it works, it works.
I kind of wonder too why, and maybe you know this, but like the Skydio has, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the Skydio's little symbol, the S symbol, is actually a marker for it to land. You can land the Skydio on top of its case because it has that little marker on it pretty precisely. Sean Oz and I did this a couple times just to try it out. But how come more companies don't use a combination of drone and a landing pad with a marker on it for like super precise landing? Or is that something people are doing and I just don't know it?
No, it's because for one thing, just kind of the precision landing process does require quite a bit of compute power to be either local on the drone or really close to it, like an edge computer directly communicating with it. And for most of the time, like DJI does have visual positioning sensors that tend to remember the general area that it took off from, and then from that memory do precision landing on its own. But kind of the need comes from having the direct targets like the AR tags to help with the extreme precision when it comes to precision landing, enabling the drone stations themselves to be relatively compact in size.
And you guys started, what year did you start the company? We're kind of looking at some pictures of your company right now.
Yeah, so we started Hextronics near the end of 2022. So we're
wait, it's 2022 now.
Sorry, 2020.
Okay.
2020, end of 2020.
That was a test, right? You were seeing if I was paying attention.
Yeah, almost had you. It was so basically we've been in operation for roughly a year and a half.
Nice. And you have some actual working paying customers, huh?
Oh yeah, quite a few. They're the reason why we don't sleep at night, and they're the reason why we work so hard. And we are extremely grateful for every single one of them, and only are working to have their success, really, because they're the ones who drive it.
What have you found? You and I talked about this a little bit online or off before the call. We just were kind of talking about some of these questions I wanted to ask you. What do you do about visual line of sight? Like, is there typically a visual observer on staff? Are you working on? I mean, what are some of the things you're working on to try and make it easier for this sort of thing to happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of our initial customers were worldwide. That's kind of the reason why our initial product was called the Hextronics Global, because a lot of the areas that could start utilizing autonomous or remote drone operations initially were in environments with fewer regulations. And so from this, we're able to start defining regulations in other countries straight off the bat, and really start understanding and collecting the data that enables pushing further into locations with higher regulation, really getting those issues approved. And when it comes down to it, especially operating in the US or operating anywhere, you can still relatively use the docking station within bounds of typical ruling, where you have a visual observer on site who can take control of the vehicle immediately, or someone on site utilizing the system and simply relaying the visual feed back to a user across the nation or across the globe. But then when it comes to further autonomy and actually complete and total beyond visual line of sight, this is something that we have achieved in 4 countries so far. And
really?
we're pushing the boundaries.
Where is that? Where can you do that?
So there's a few that us and our partners are working with in locations in Asia, like Japan and Malaysia, and then some in Africa that we have pushed the boundaries in and achieved some beyond visual line of sight approvals.
Wow.
So far.
Yeah, and I know you've been involved in that legislation in the U.S. as well, right? You're basically, you said you guys are very much talking to the government entities, local entities, national entities about how these laws should be shaped. All of that said, we've been hearing about drone delivery for a long time. We've also been hearing about passenger drones for a long time, and I have a couple of friends that work in that industry and have had them on the show before. But when do you think we're going to see drone delivery become a common thing? I know in some places, and I know that's not what you guys do, but I mean, when am I going to look up and see a quadcopter or a hexcopter fly over into my neighbor's yard and land and drop something off or that kind of thing? When do you think that'll be the case? Like, how far away, how many years are we away from that?
Yeah, so of course it depends on your environment, your location, your infrastructure, your relative population density, and all of these things, because the areas that are going to get drone delivery the soonest, what we envision is actually somewhat of kind of houses that live on canals, because waterways form somewhat of a natural roadway that
safe way to fly to a location without going over traffic and roads and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then once enough flights are done on that front, then collecting that data and being able to show to regulatory bodies worldwide that, hey, look, we've done thousands and thousands of deliveries all over really low risk areas, and we've had 0 failures. Let's start doing a pilot program in some higher risk environments, because now we have the capability and we've proven ourselves.
Yeah. It's all about taking those small steps and succeeding. We actually have someone in the Zoom that wants to jump in and ask a question. One of the viewers, Mark, you want to bring them in? Let's see who's here.
Alan Savage.
Alan, where is Alan? Hey, there he is. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, good, Kelly. How are you today?
Fantastic. I forget, where are you calling from?
Canton, Ohio.
All right. I'm I've been up in Columbus a few times. Is that near Columbus, or is that further south?
It's a little bit further. It's further southwest of me where I'm at. It's maybe about like a 2.5 hour drive, maybe 3.
Okay. Well, great to have you on. Do you have any questions for Curt about autonomous flight or Hextronic?
Yeah. All right. How soon, like with all this autonomous stuff, how soon do you think this will all take into effect?
Yeah. Okay. So for autonomy, definitely, 2030 we'll be doing this recurringly, and it should be normal place by then. We're aiming for scalable drone delivery networks being deployed. I don't know how close it is, but from what we're looking at around 2024, 2025 area, should start to see some very large things throughout the US and basically communities that are being heavily invested into systems like this because they see the impact it would have on their local economy and kind of just bring excitement into tech into their world. And so really 2024, so like 2025,
three to 5 years, you think two to 5 years, something like that could be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alan, are you flying much these days? Have you been out? It's warmed up a little bit in Ohio?
Yes, it has. It's been pretty nice this week so far. So, matter of fact, I just flew my Cineroop to Diatone Taycan. I was trying it out because I had to get the module replaced in my goggles. So I managed to try that out, and it worked pretty good.
Nice.
So I managed to get
what kind of goggles are you flying? Are Fat Sharks?
The Dominator V2s.
Nice.
Yeah, I had the module replaced in it. Yeah, so they're nice, and so I took it to a guy that's in the multi GP racing. He works on them, so I wasn't going to mess with him. He fixed them up for me, and
very cool. Very cool. Are you going to come to Minefield in Tennessee? You know, Ken Herron's event that's in August. If everybody's thinking about going, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go. I'm pretty sure Chris is going to go. Maybe Mark's going to go. It should be a blast. If you want to fly FPV and camera drones, a lot of fun. But cool. well, Alan, thank you for jumping in. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too. Hey, real quick, where at in Tennessee is this event?
Brownsville. It's like an hour northeast of Memphis.
Okay. All right. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's in August. I went the first year. It was a blast.
Okay. All right. Well, good seeing everybody. Good seeing you, Kelly. And
thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
And guys,
no problem.
Just real quick, I put all the I put lots of information about the Zoom. If you're a channel member, you can hop in. I think we have somebody else in the queue, or do we, Mark?
Yes, we do, Mike.
Oh, we have Mike in the queue. All right, let's bring Mike in and see what he wants to ask. Curt wasn't expecting all this spontaneous questions, but you're doing great. You're doing great. Mike, can you hear us?
Hey, Kelly. Yeah. I'm in a
Hey,
restaurant here.
there you are. You're up in Dallas.
I'm in Meridian, Idaho.
Oh, that's right. You're flying. I heard you were going to fly over the Snake Canyon, or the one that Evel Knievel.
Canyon. I did that today with Marcus and Dr. Ted Bowman.
Oh, Marcus is there
Marcus
with you.
Full day plan for it.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
He lives in Meridian. Yeah,
that's right.
He's a great host.
Idaho Quadcopters, of course.
Exactly.
So Curt, I guess you were watching, while you're out for dinner. I hope you're not getting in trouble with the family or anything.
I'm out for a burger here. Yeah. Had a long day.
Yeah. What a great day of flying. Do you have any questions for Curt about their Hex, their Hextronics or anything? Hextronics? I keep saying Hexa. Sorry.
Not a problem. I enjoyed watching though.
Cool.
I'm in a restaurant, kind of loud here. So.
Are you going to come to Mike? Are you going to come to Minefield?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna consider it. Yep.
Yeah. Come on out, man. Come on out. Yeah. I went the first year. It was a blast. It's really a lot of fun. Well, hey man, tell Marcus I said hey. I haven't seen him in a while, but tell him I said hello.
I'll do that. Good talking to you.
Okay,
Take
man.
care.
Thanks for hopping in.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, Curt. Sorry. Thank you for your patience. So just so you know too, I keep talking about Minefield. It's and Mark, did you have a picture of Minefield on there? Minefield drone meetup. It's an event. It's a drone event in Tennessee, which I guess it wouldn't be too far of a drive for you guys, would it? It's in Ken Herron puts it on, and it's in August, and it's let's see, can you take the screen? It's in August, and it's this place this guy has built. His name is Billy Tripp, and he's an artist, and he's taken all these giant metal structures, water towers, boats, antennas, etc. You can kind of see them there behind Ken, and he's put them up in this weird configuration, and then what people do is come and fly their drones around and through it. So just kind of spend a whole day doing that. First year I went to it, which was the first year he had it. I ended up doing a dogfight with airplanes with another drone pilot, which was a blast. Mm-hmm. So something to consider if you're around in Tennessee on August 20th. So, but getting back to you guys real quick, if people wanted to find out more, what's your website?
Yeah, you can find us at hextronics.tech, TECH.
Okay.
And on there, you'll be able to find also our links to like our LinkedIn, our YouTube, our Instagram. And we've also got a kind of a new service out now. It's called Hex Vision, and it's actually like automatic visual recognition online.
Oh yeah. Let's take a look at that. Can we take a look at that video? I think we have the Hex Vision in action here in a video. So yeah, tell us. I forgot about this. Tell us what's going on in this video.
Yes. So Hex Vision is kind of what we're building that enables post-processing or real-time recognition and kind of extraction of visual data from just a live video stream. And this is a service that we provide now and will continue to grow in the coming months. And essentially, any kind of new subscriber to the channel will pick roughly 2 to 5 every week and give them some free access to the system. So
what are the red ones that are popping up? I see the green or the blue ones I see say car, but some red ones popped up in the sky. Is that airplane or is that?
No, that recognized a bird.
Oh, that's nobody's seen a bird in the sky. Wow. So why would you use this? What's the I mean, anybody with eyes can see that these are cars, but I mean, I realize if you were like launching a missile, this might be handy, but aside from that, why would you want to do this recognition of birds and cars and such?
Yeah, so this is what we're envisioning for aerial autonomy, where you fly a continuous mission around a perimeter, a field, or something you want to inspect on a routine basis, and you can start jotting down, hey, today I saw 6 different cars in this section of my flight. Do you want to do anything about this? Or hey, I saw that there was a buildup of garbage in this area, or there was a large gathering of people in this area. Just kind of being able to get some information that you can look at on a daily basis as your drone flies autonomously.
And it looks like Drone DJ did an article about this. Can you go back up to the top, Mark? It looks like you can. You were saying that if you go to the website or if you sign up on the socials, you guys offer free access to this periodically.
Yeah, exactly. Periodically, we select 2 to 5 people per week and give them free access. Cool.
That's really cool. I mean, I imagine that your solution is not cheap, right? It's probably not something an individual is going to pay for, but a school system who wants to watch their perimeter, or a construction site or anything that requires regular drone flights that you don't want to pay a pilot every single day to go out there and manage. I would imagine, if they're going to be doing it 100 times over the course of 2 years, it's probably a much cheaper way to go. Even though it's a lot of money, it's less expensive than hiring a pilot every time. Would you say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, precisely. And it does give you kind of a higher level of control, security, flexibility, and just enables you with another tool that can really be used for some cool things, because we continue to come out with some impressive either visual or navigational or just autonomous systems that work to provide more information and power to the user.
So there was one other video I wanted to show, Chris, if we could show it. Yeah. So tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, okay. So this is one of the main problems we ran into initially building these systems in South Florida, was that the outside of them got to be roughly 100, 110 because the sun was shining. So we actually designed one of the smallest compressor-based cooling systems in existence. We use the most compact compressor you can buy, and we've actually routed the copper tubes inside to create a very efficient cooling system.
So it went from like 104 in the first reading to 72 inside.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And like, how much power do those things draw? Can you plug that into a regular 110 outlet and run it for however long?
Yeah. So that system it's got a coefficient of performance. So basically, it can do 500. It's got a coefficient of performance of over 2. So it can do roughly 500 watts of cooling with just 250 watts of input power. And so in total, the system draws less than 600 watts. And that is something that can easily be fed by a 110 outlet. It's much less than what your typical AC system in your house takes.
I was going to ask for some sort of point of comparison, like a refrigerator. I've always heard that refrigerators are one of the biggest draws in a house. Is it equivalent to a refrigerator, you think, or more or less?
It's less than a refrigerator for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It's what is it compare? It's maybe like a mini fridge is comparable to.
Mike Miller says eventually there will be drones delivering drones. That would be pretty awesome if you ordered a drone and it was, you ordered the newest FPV or camera drone and it got delivered by another drone. That would be super cool. They're still using trucks. Come on, people. These are drones that we're delivering here. So when you Curt, when you are not doing this, and it sounds like you do this a lot, like this business is a big part of your life. What else do you like to do? Do you fly FPV? Do you like to travel? What are some things that Curt Lary likes to do?
Oh, Curt Lary. Yeah. So I do fly a little bit of drones. Not really that big into FPV all the time, mostly into kind of designing other little robotic systems, stuff like this. But I have done quite a few like marathons, triathlons, running, stuff like that, or practicing jujitsu.
Oh, nice.
And
so if a drone gets out of line, you can go take it out. Just give it the jujitsu moves.
Yeah, or just having fun in Miami Beach, right here in South Florida. It's always a good time.
Is that where you're from originally?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Where have you traveled much? Like, where's the coolest place you've ever been, or where's some place you want to go? Or either or.
One place that definitely opened my mind big time was Interlaken. I did.
I've been to Interlaken, Switzerland.
Yep, in Switzerland, I did paragliding or parasailing.
Yeah.
Paragliding, right through there, and that kind of opened my mind to I need to do this full time. I need to be in the air.
Wow. Yeah. My wife and I actually went to Interlaken on our honeymoon as part of our honeymoon. Yeah. Can you bring it up, Mark? It's in Switzerland, and do you know what Interlaken actually means?
Interlaken. No.
Between the lakes.
Oh.
Like
Yeah,
inter is
lakes.
between and Laken is like. Can you bring up the map on the screen, Chris? There we go. So Interlaken means between the lakes, and it's these two beautiful crystal lakes. And I remember we went there with my great aunt and uncle, who were my grandfather's brother, who is my grandfather's Swiss, and his brother still lived in Bern, Switzerland. Anyway, they took us there for lunch, and we were in a restaurant, and there were all these paragliders. Like, we were up on the side of the mountain, and all these paragliders were going over us. And we were like, this place is so cool. Are there any other pictures? Can you click on any of the pictures there? Yeah, none of those are really. You have to see the water is so blue, and then they have electric boats that go through. So anyway, I'm 100% pro Interlaken with you. That is a very cool place. And then what about in the U.S.? What's your aside from Florida? nobody really wants to be in Florida, right? That's going to get me in trouble. But where else would you want to go outside of Florida? Have you ever been to Austin?
I haven't been to Austin. Been to Dallas, California, New York, Kentucky, Atlanta. I love Atlanta.
And you guys have a station in like a demo station in Kentucky, right? That's what you said in your email. And so what part? Because I actually went to Lexington last year for about a week, and it was beautiful. Is it near Lexington or Louisville or where in Kentucky?
Yeah, right nearby there. It's in Paris.
Okay. And so you could basically take off and go over one of the distilleries, right? Go over the where they make all the bourbon.
Yep. Go pick up a shot of bourbon and bring it back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So I got to say, you guys seem like, for such young guys, it seems like you're really killing it on the business front. You know, this is the future. And can you go back to the website real quick just to show this box one more time? This, I believe, is the sort of missing element sometimes to drone flight, because, you know, drone in a bag is great, but it relies on humans. It relies on people to recharge the batteries and to go get it and to protect it and to make sure it doesn't get wet. This really is going to give automation some extra reach, like the ability to not only take off and land from a central location, but to put these boxes in different places in the backs of trucks. It's very cool. My only real concern for you guys is you might be too early, you know, and that would be the shame, is that, you know, if not enough people adopt this in the next 3 years, you know, you got to keep the cash flow going. But it sounds to me like you have plenty of customers, you're plenty busy, and the fact that you guys are working on legislation and stuff for this is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're pushing it. It doesn't come easy, and every day it seems like we're taking on a Goliath.
Do you have any big competitors? You got any like other companies that are doing this that we should be aware of, or are you guys kind of the only people doing this to this degree?
I mean, there's a classic guys out there that always flaunt around their docking stations, but we're kind of taking a different approach from the get-go, where we work with a bunch of other groups in order to make it happen. And so we're not trying to take on everything as the everything group, but we're kind of just a little piece in the puzzle that puts a lot of these guys together, because a lot of the reasons why we're able to scale and grow is because we work with our partners and customers that already have the in with a lot of these regulatory bodies and their environments, and are already providing these drone services.
So it's, I mean, that's great, because you know these people that have already jumped through some hoops in order to be able to do these drone inspections or fly in certain airspace, you know, that maybe get the right waivers for that, et cetera. No, that's awesome. Well, I'm rooting for you. I really, you know, I like your personality. I love the fact that you guys are young guys and that you're working so hard and hustling on this. I think everybody, I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat saying great guest. And so that's awesome. Really appreciate you coming on. I know that, you know, again, I don't know that anybody in the audience is going to necessarily buy from you, but I think now you have 40 to 50 more people who have heard of you, you know, and kind of know who you are. My ask for the flight crew and for the folks watching right now is just to go check out their socials and, you know, follow them on Instagram or follow them on YouTube, subscribe to them on YouTube, just so you guys can keep up to date. And as you guys make announcements and stuff, you can do more. Maybe here's another thought, Curt, is maybe 2023, I do a drone event. I've done it every year for 4 years. I kind of skipped this year for a variety of reasons, but I'm going to do it again in 2023. Typically get about 100 people together, and we have speakers. Maybe you could bring your drone truck to Austin and demo it for us for those 100 people, and, you know, speak at the event and let people try it out.
Yeah, no, it sounds like fun.
For sure. Well, again, Curt, really appreciate you coming on the show. I will be in touch with you after all this. I thank you guys, you know, for taking the time and for reaching out to me. And I think, you know, maybe we can do more stuff together. But this was a great start. And, you know, it's always nice to have a guest who is doing something innovative with drones, especially somebody young who's excited about it and enthusiastic. And I can tell you are.
Yep, we live it every day. It's the dream, and we're
Living the dream.
only excited to keep pushing forward.
They say
Thank
if you
so much
enjoy
for
what you
having
do,
us.
if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right? That's the saying.
Precisely.
Okay. Well, Curt, thanks, man. Thanks for being on, and I will catch up with you after this at some point. And getting back to the team here, the flight crew, and everybody that's been watching, there's a few things that I want to go through before we wrap up tonight. One of which is 2 minutes of hope. Now, for those of you that don't know Chris Hope, which is nobody, everybody in this audience, I'm sure knows Chris Hope. And by the way, I forgot to say earlier, Zeb Meat, thank you for the super chat earlier in the show, much appreciated. And for all the great all the great comments that you make. I always enjoy seeing your comments in the chat. Shout out to Ray Kelly. Shout out to my brother Brad from Virginia. Shout out to Chris Hope, who is also in the chat, who is puts together a program or a video every month for me called 2 Minutes of Hope. He put together one this time that is a very cool topic, something near and dear to my heart. And let's take a look at Chris Hope and 2 Minutes of Hope.
Hey everybody, cruise night for May 2022 here in Athens, Texas. Let's go check it out.
Another great show and another great video from Chris Hope. Thank you so much. If there is such a thing as a Ready Set Drone bump or a Kelly bump, that should be for my man Chris Hope. So if you don't subscribe to Chris Hope, you really should, because I even saw Chris. Actually, I tried to get on your live stream the other night when the storm was coming through, and I was like just late. I just missed it. I got the notification right after I was finishing dinner, and then you were off the air. So I keep an eye out on Chris Hope because he's always doing cool stuff with his sunrise flights and with his storm tracking flights and 2 Minutes of Hope. So shout out to that man. He's a great guy, and you should all go subscribe to his channel. So that all said, wow, man, it's been an hour already. So thank you guys all for joining. And we do have the last thing I want to mention, which is our subscriber of the month. Now, Bob Casey was subscriber of the month last month, and congrats to Bob. I haven't seen him in here, but great guy, and very much appreciate him always joining. This week's subscriber of the month, I don't think is watching, but I think that's because he's hanging out with Michael Wright in Idaho. It's Idaho Quadcopters, Marcus Crawford. Man, Marcus, what a great guy, putting out great content. He's really kind of doubled down on all the content he's been doing, and very much appreciate Marcus and what he does for the community. So if you're not a subscriber to Idaho Quadcopter, which you probably are if you're watching this show, you should go check out Marcus's channel. I also want to give a quick shout out to Alan for first of all joining and hopping in on the Zoom call, and also for the super chat. Very much appreciated. And of course, Joe Blaylock with the 1, 2, 3, 4 tradition. Really appreciate that, Joe. That's awesome. Thank you guys. I will be back next month for July. I should have a few more things going on with maybe Kai back in. I know Kai's had some medical things going on. He's also moving, and so he's couldn't make it tonight, but looking forward to that. You guys, thank you so much for all you do for this community. Thank you for watching. It means the world to me. I really, really mean it. I don't do this for any reason other than it's fun and the fact that, I feel like I have so many good friends that I like to put on a show for once a month. I would do it more often, but once a month is about all I can handle. Anyway, there it is. Thanks for watching First Friday. We'll see you July 1st. That's actually my mom's birthday, and so maybe I'll have her on the show. That's what Mark thinks I should do. And thank you guys again. Until then, don't fly alone. We'll see you next time.
When I fly, I won't fly alone. I'm gonna fly with Ready Set Drone, 'cause Ready Set Drone will always fly with me. Flying fast and flying free, flying with friends is the life for me, 'cause Ready Set Drone is my community. Goggles and rotors and FPV, props and motors and ESCs, gimbals and cameras are what we use to fly. Sharing stories and swapping tales, amazing triumphs and epic fails. How will you know if you don't ever try? Ready, set, drone, spin up your props and plug in your phone. Fly with us and we think you'll agree. Ready, set, drone, what's the point of flying alone? Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Fly, I won't fly alone. I'm gonna fly with Ready Set Drone, 'cause Ready Set Drone will always fly with me. Flying fast and flying free, flying with friends is the life for me, 'cause Ready Set Drone is my community. Ready Set Drone, spin up your props and plug in your phone. Fly with us and we think you'll agree. Ready, set, drone, what's the point of flying alone? Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Flying with friends will make you feel so free.